As we've talked about the last couple weeks, we're gonna recap Daredevil. We're gonna recap Daredevil. We ate good this week. We got two episodes of Daredevil this week.
Hmm.
Uh, two, I mean, really good episodes. This season still doesn't really have any misses so far for me, anyways. Um, yeah, so we can just jump right into it. The first episode was super disconnected from the main story so far up to this point, which I really thought was handled well. You know, every show is going to have filler episodes. Not every show is going to have good filler episodes, but this was a great, in my opinion, filler episode. So basically, you get a bank heist episode that has nothing to do with anything really. Um, Matt goes to the bank to get a loan for his company or whatever. And we get a big MCU cameo. We get Yusuf Khan at the bank. Kamala Khan's father, who we've seen a couple times now. He's at the bank. He has to deny Matt his loan, and Matt's leaving. And then he hears that that bank is about to be, robbed. So he goes back in, and then, you know. Um, so yeah, so the bank's getting robbed. Matt's just trapped in there, and it's just a really, I mean, it's a heist episode. It was so cool. I didn't think we would get like a bank heist episode of Daredevil this season, which was not like, you know, it just wasn't connected to anything, but it was still super duper cool. So yeah, so I mean, nothing really major that I can think of other than like you get some really cool stuff with Matt, like tricking them and beating the shit out of them as he usually does. And this time he's all like it's cool to see him like do it all in his lawyer gear and his suit and everything. Um, he's able to get into the vault because he can hear and he gets the diamond or whatever. And then after the bank heist is over, like he goes and just absolutely curb stomps a dude's leg the into the deepest, darkest depths of the earth. He just absolutely bodied that guy's leg. So not a really crazy important episode, but I thought it was really cool. Did you like it? Did you think it was a good filler episode?
Yeah, as far as filler episodes go, usually they're like boring and you don't really care. This one is just like, look, Matt he still got it. Like he is going in there. He doesn't even, it's right place, right time for him, wrong place, wrong time for everybody else, of course. But no, he's there, and I think that like the cool thing about this episode is that it really showcases like his ability just with like his super hearing senses. Yeah, I was
Yep.
exactly. No, when he's breaking through the vault to when he's listening to conversations to anything as simple as listening to heartbeats, man. He's awesome at that. He is very cool. I think that's one thing that Born Again has done very well for his character. I just think it's really cool. I agree with you. I like seeing it in the suit. We don't you don't see it really in the Netflix series at all. Very rarely, if any, not that any like come to mind. But no, you see it here, and it's cool to see Yusuf Khan, and he makes a little cameo to oh she's in California, teasing the Young Avengers, which is cool, I guess. But that's where they say, hey, this is our MCU tie-in. We actually don't care about anything else. This is going to be your MCU tie-in and our filler episode, and he's going to be that's all you're going to get. Um yeah, as far as filler episodes go, it's very good compared to other filler episodes. I will say this reminds me of like a SVU episode or a Criminal Minds episode that your typical heist, you have the people inside that you're getting their story, you have the bank robber is getting his story, and then you have like the outside. These are we need to get his demands, we're stalling for time, we're trying not to let people go in. This is like typical crime heist episode. This is like exactly what you see in everything else. So it's not groundbreaking, but when you put it in the context of a filler episode for Daredevil, that's where it kind of is like, oh, this is interesting. Still good components to where like Matt is interesting, of really good character, and they get a happy ending per se with the little subtle flex
Diamond.
where he grabs candy and Yusuf looks in there and it's the freaking diamond. So just the casual flex, and he also does drop the line again of "I'm a really good lawyer," and he really is. He is a really good lawyer.
Yep, yep. And so I'm assuming now he's gonna get that bank loan for sure. So no, really cool filler episode. Nothing super important probably to the series, but you just kind of get to see how OP he really is. And I think this episode showed it really well. And then you jump right into the next episode, which is really back into the main story. You get a lot of Fisk and you get a lot of Matt. And you get a lot more Muse this episode. You kind of learn what Muse has been doing. There's all these like crazy murals and things popping up around the city, and they can't remove them because they do a test on it, and all of the paint has blood mixed in with it, making it like pretty much impossible to remove. So they kind of figure out, they learn about Muse and that he's been doing this, and so everyone's kind of looking for him. Even Fisk like assembles a little task force of like the dirty cops, to go and hunt for him. I think it's like it's literally an anti-vigilante task force that he calls it. And then you get stuff with Matt. Obviously, like you can tell, throughout this whole season and this episode in particular, like he's really wrestling with like whether or not he needs to come back as Daredevil. He really doesn't want to, but then like the legal system and the like the cops and everything, like nothing is working out. Nobody's doing their job. Everything's just continuing to go to shit. And he's been wrestling with that. And um while like this really didn't happen until like the last 10 minutes of the episode. The whole like first chunk was obviously about more so about Muse and everything, but um the last like 10 minutes is when he's like you really see like he's about to snap. He's about to snap, and he kind of figures out where Muse is, and he's going to call the cops. And as he's doing it, she answers, and he just puts the phone down, and he says, "Fuck it." And then he goes to his roof to get his suit, and then you see him swinging through the city with the awesome Daredevil theme music playing. And then you get him running through the underground into Muse's lair, and just awesome fight sequence between him and Muse.
Yep.
You see Muse has captured BB Urich because she was doing some investigating.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
yeah.
Ayala, the daughter, the niece.
Wait, you're right. Yeah, yeah. It
Yep.
wasn't BB Urich. Yep, the
Yep.
niece.
Yep.
But yeah, awesome fight between him and Muse, and then you also like at the same exact time you're getting the fist fight between him and Adam. Basically, he gives Adam an axe and is like, come on.
A
And
really cool monologue right before he starts it too.
oh
Like
yeah,
he walks down and basically is like, "Look, I had guys triple my size when I was younger, just beat the shit out of me, and I had to learn to get tough." He grabs the axe, he throws it into Adam, and he says, "It really does even the playing field, and it's a simple item that does that." And he throws him the axe. I just really, really like that from Kingpin. I just think it's a very cool little subtle, like, look, like I'm gonna give you a chance to fight your way out of this, but deep down, Fisk knows that he is going to beat the life out of him. He just knows it. Adam stands no chance. He even makes a comment like, Vanessa would probably really want me to set you free. And Adam's like, "Oh, thank you so much." And he said, I don't even remember the exact line, but it's something like, I couldn't live with myself if I did that. But yes, the parallel between
yep.
him and Daredevil going at it, and it's merciless. I mean, Wilson Fisk is beating this dude, and that dude can't even get a hit on him. At least Muse gets a couple licks in. At least that one is a little bit more fair. But even then, when Fisk is pounding this dude's head in, and at the same time Daredevil is choking Muse out, like the difference between them two really comes down to like Fisk is doing this out of hatred and spite and all of that. And at the exact same time, Matt is listening to the heartbeats of the niece, or the niece, sorry, not Denise, but the niece. And he's like, I gotta let this guy go. I could easily kill him. I could stay here and choke him out, but I would lose her. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I stand for. And remember, the prayer is playing over as he's doing that, which I find really, really cool because Daredevil, of course, has the Catholic like
Background.
roots, and that is his like basis of the character, which
Yep.
is awesome. They keep this in here. That's a soapbox. Sorry, I'll get off. But
No, no, no,
yes,
no. You're good. No, no, no.
um,
Yeah, no. Like, we talk about like the whole show's been about like Matt kind of coming to terms with who he really is, and like, does he want Daredevil to really be a part of him? And the same exact thing is going on with Fisk. Like, Fisk obviously like isn't right, but like you can tell he's trying to maintain his good image and do everything correctly so he can, actually try to make some difference as a mayor. But you can tell like both of their pasts and who they truly are like slowly eating at them.
yeah,
And this show has done a great, great job of like mirroring their journeys,
yeah,
and then they both kind of come back into themselves at the end of this episode at the
yeah,
same time. It's literally jumping back and forth between both of their fight sequences. It's so, so cool. And you can also tell like kind of a physical transformation of Fisk. We noted it a couple weeks ago, like I mean, he's not near as big as he had been in the past.
right,
And Vanessa goes to put his jacket on him and it doesn't fit. She makes a point like, you're getting bigger, your suit's getting smaller. So it's kind of like, he's like literally turning back into the old, Wilson Fisk. He's getting bigger again and he's going back into his like evil ways and his violent ways, his violent nature. And same with Matt. Like it's just been eating at him this whole show. And then they both finally give into it. And
yeah,
I told you I started clapping like an idiot during the second episode, and it's when like Matt put the phone down and just said "fuck
yeah.
it," and
No,
then
that is,
he went to the roof, dude. That
yeah.
was so cool.
Yeah, no, a really cool scene. Again, Charlie Cox kills it. Yeah, no, I'm with you. The parallels between theirs two, you don't even, descent is like not a good word, but it's like retransformation back into who we know them to be. And it's both like they are trying so hard to just keep it down. Like, I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to turn back into Kingpin. I'm not going to be Daredevil. There's right ways to do this. And both of them are being thrown into the heat just constantly. And every episode, you're like, how much longer can they keep this up? Like, how much longer can they go without like freaking the hell out? And this episode, there's no more. I mean, Kingpin walks down the stairs about the same time as Matt says "fuck it." Like it is just like there it's happening at the same time. Now where this goes from here, we only have a couple episodes left, dude. Like this is like getting to the point at the end of season one. I feel like there's some answers that need to be there's questions that need to be answered. This is going to come to a head between the two of them at some point. It may not even be this season because we do have Muse lurking in the background, who I thought held his own, and he's a really, really interesting character. He is siphoning blood to do like
Yeah.
you can call it politically based art. He really does not like Kingpin. We can see that. But at the deep, like 60 victims they're talking about, they're getting like 5 DNA samples per mural. That's gross. He's a freak. But yeah, no, he's a very interesting character. I really hope we get a couple more fight scenes because his was cool, but you could tell Daredevil was way over. He was overmatching Muse. And I don't know if that Muse was obviously shocked to see Daredevil running at him in the train shadow. He was probably like, "Holy shit, who is that?" But no, yeah, maybe hopefully they'll get more of a fair fight. But yeah, this one is definitely like a parallel between Kingpin and Dare and Matt. Or I really want to say Daredevil. It's Kingpin and Daredevil coming back. We're getting Matt back in the suit. We're getting Kingpin getting back, like you said, the physical transformation. This is stuff that we literally dream about. I mean, this is what we want. This is what we asked for. And we're getting two really, really good characters who are trying so hard to keep it like buried. But at some point, you're going to break and your character's going to show through. And you can see the difference in the characters too. Like, you can see that at the end when Kingpin is, you can say whatever you want. It really does look like he's satisfied and he understands like what he does and he's not going to regret it. As Daredevil is saving a little girl from being killed, and that's the difference between those two.
Yep. Yep. Awesome, awesome episode. I will say I think um costume design of Muse is like up there with best of the MCU. Dude, he looks so good.
Yeah, it does.
His costume looks so, so good. Like genuinely creepy.
Yep.
I do hope maybe we get more of a little backstory or like kind of figure out his motivation. Maybe he's just a pure psychopath. We got that teaser of him without the mask in one of the earlier episodes.
Yeah.
but I'm kind of curious to maybe see his like alter ego and like why
Absolutely.
the way he is.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it looks like we got some awesome episodes coming up. It's going to end with a bang. They're both finally back into full form, so we're probably going to be getting a lot more like actual, Daredevil stuff and Kingpin stuff. John Bernthal's obviously coming back. We've seen teasers of him. He's all freshly shaven and got his Punisher gear on. So like it's gonna be an awesome last couple weeks for sure. So very very excited for that. Yeah, Daredevil's great. Literally has been no misses so far. It's been
Yep.
everything we both wanted. Really really loving it. So shout out Daredevil. Then yeah, we get another episode in 2 days. So
Yep.
I'm pumped. So that's Daredevil.